So yeah, this Tiva is like a bear flag on the daily, and then you're already gapping down on it, right? This thing's a race to zero. You can see MYL too. So both of those, like they kind of move together. So you could definitely keep both of those on the watch list. Yeah. One thing we've got to be careful of today is just, all right, does the market kind of double bottom, down over here at this kind of 178, or do we, right, flush back through? The chart's telling us that the trend on the short and intermediate is down. Yesterday was just kind of a rest day. It looks like, at the moment we kind of have that date with the 200 SMA. One thing we'll have to be careful is not to short in the hole, right? So make sure that the setups kind of avail themselves. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing kind of hit us 178.50 really, really quickly. We're already starting to get that action even into pre-pre. This Tiva does have a big support down here. I think the old low is like 1186, so you're already breaking below that. So I think this one will be one to watch today. So you can see here the support at the kind of 12 to 1187. So anything that builds under there, I think is a continuation, right? So whether you pop back into support or you start to build some type of base, as soon as you pop into there, that's going to be, a potential short. MYL, same type of deal. You had an inside day here. So an inside day is a day inside a larger range, right? So when you have an inside day, the next day, often you can come in and take out that range. Don't be surprised to see this thing kind of dust out at 1975 or so, and then we'll have a continuation on this. You got to be careful today with the market acting the way it is. We don't know necessarily if we're going to just bust higher or lower. We'll have to be careful either way. You know what? Somebody mentioned is newer. This one's like not that clean of a gap for me. I probably, that's not my particular expertise on a play like that. I like really clean kind of plays. That one I think is going to take a little bit of work. I'll probably stay away from that one. Dun, 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 dun. The rest of this stuff is all junk. So what we want to do is stick with, remember, yesterday was a bounce day. You can start throwing your names at a lot of different stuff. Now that the market's kind of fading back, right, we need to go back into making sure we're trading just really liquid names. If the market starts to get volatile, the liquidity will dry up. Add TVIX to the watch list. You're just kind of flagging out over here. I think this one's got a chance to kind of bust out of this zone, and then you can probably break out of 30 or do whatever. One thing with TVIX that I've noticed, anytime, hey Saul, how you doing? Anytime that you chase this thing on strength, it never works out well. Like I've had no good luck like buying TVIX on breakouts. You almost have to let it pull back a little bit, let that trend set, watch like into the VWAP areas. Once it starts to hold, and you can get a clear direction by watching right the Qs and the S&P, you get a much easier trade in it. Otherwise, this thing is just donezo. On the other hand, all this kind of stuff that we've been trading, these are all just turning into bear flags at this point. So, add some of these names like SQ. You can go in with SQ and TQQ and all this junk like JMIA. See like how you kind of faded off at the end of the day? So like these things will all turn into shorts today too, right? So you can see like this big like end of day fade. This was just a dead cat bounce. We had been playing the bounce for a couple days, but this was just a dead cat bounce. You got confirmation yesterday, right? With that like big dump. So like something like this is probably short on pops or, any type of pattern you're going to get. This one's not going to have much room left. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just kind of unwind back into 20. If the market does bounce, this BYND had the heat. We were shredding this thing in the chat room yesterday. Every single flag and dip was working. You've got a $2 week open today. So if the market does start to reverse, we can hit a red to green on this one. I think if the market stays hot, this one's probably got a date with that 85. If the market doesn't, it's just going to take down everything with it. That's something we have to always be cognizant of when we're watching this. I think the favorite play for today, at least on the kind of the larger cap names, is this Agilent. We got to break under the 200. It's got news out today. I think this one already, you can already see pre-market, it's already starting to come loose. I think this one's going to have a chance to really get smoked out. Hey, Saul, how you doing, brother? What's going on? Wanda, what's going on? You know, ZG is not a clean play. This is probably, I don't know if it's a long or a short, so probably that one I think, you know, you want to focus in on like a cleaner name because you don't really know what to do with the stock like this, right? Is it a long? Is it a short? Is it a anything? You know, it's a tweener. You know, Uber did have a bounce day yesterday, and, you know, frankly, you may come back here and fill this gap a little bit. I'm not taking something like this, though, if the market's starting to roll over. This is a thick stock. I mean, you know, you can already see with the volume it's doing. The float on it's going to be heavy. It's a little bit thick, but, you know, if they turn the algos on, you can see it's got decent enough range on it to play. I think you'll be okay with that one. You know, team is a nice looking pattern. I think this is probably like a swing trade setup. You know, something, you know, as this kind of fills out, I would definitely kind of keep this on a list to trade back and forth. I like that. You know what? I haven't been trading this name at all, even though I do like this sector. I'll probably, you know, I would add that in. Hey, JJ, what's up? Denny, you know, when you have something like a PLCE, you know, you just have to set limit orders. You know, you can't short into the hole, like try to short at lows when you have a spread. You got to kind of level into it, especially if it starts to spike or kind of fade at a key spot. You want to level into it a little bit. Otherwise, man, it gets really tough to trade. So short watch list today. Keep all the ETFs like TVIX, TQQ, and then liquid names like SQ on your list. Then all the stuff that we've been trading the last couple days that have been, you know, like heaters. We can use those as longs if the market reverses. Good days like this are nice because your watch list is just really short. You can just focus on a handful of names because everything will just move with the market. Hey, Frank, how you doing? You know, so like something like this AMD is like a really, really nice chart. But if the market rolls over, then this is going to roll over because this is not a earnings or a PR play. This is a proxy on market direction and also the semiconductor space, technology space, right? So market goes down, this one will go down, like pretty much all stocks. That's why a lot of times when the market's a little bit dipsy-do dunkaroo, you know, we focus a lot on earnings plays, but it looks like earnings season's kind of drying up a little bit. We're not getting as much heat as we did last week. Last week was really the week of weeks for, you know, gappers and earnings plays. So we'll just stick with our bread and butter and, you know, probably around 10:15 in the morning, start running your scans, see if there's anything that has like relative strength that's been moving up. You'll find like a few places start to peak out that you probably weren't aware of in pre-market. When the market opens, like that first hour, like I don't like running a bunch of scans and stuff because it takes me off focus on like my main watch list. But once things settle down, turn the jets on, see if there's anything else creeping around. You'll get a good afternoon play or something like that. Let's go do what we do. We got 3 minutes to the ding, ding, ding.